this channel, I'm focusing on real world scenarios, practical cases, practical implementation of your skills and your experience and your judgment and your professionalism. But there are a lot of formal project management methodologies out there, and these are worth knowing. Prince, PMBOK, there's a whole range of different project management institutes and associations, and project management is a science, and there's a lot of theoretical knowledge around that science and discipline of project management that you should be aware of. The more of that you can digest and implement in a practical way in your day-to-day work, the better. I just want to touch on some of the PMBOK principles. So the project management body of knowledge, PMBOK, it's one of the best known ones. It's got the 12 principles. So I want to just have a conversation about some of the principles and what they mean in the real world, taking them out of the textbook and putting them into my experience. So the first one that I want to talk about is stewardship. Stewardship means doing the right thing. What does that mean? So as defined, it's about following the laws, it's about following the compliance requirements and the risk management requirements of your organization, so internal and external. That means that you should be all over the different regulations and laws that relate to the project that you're undertaking. So in financial services, if you're in the IT side, you're implementing a regulatory change to the way prices are calculated or to the way customers are notified of changes to their policy or their interest rate or their loan. You need to know what is the law that's driving the change that you're making, and you should make it your business to know that. By doing that, then you can explain to your team why we're doing this. Then it's not just a technical change. Then this is something that affects people. In financial services, we often say we're not saving lives, but in a way, you're certainly affecting lives because you're affecting people's finances, their money. It may be their insurance protection. It may be their home loan. It may be their ability to refinance a loan for their business so that they can pay their staff, so that their staff can feed their family. So these are not saving lives in the medical sense, but this does affect people's lives. And if you can relate a regulatory change or a business change to what you're actually implementing, so all the different stages in between senior decision that was made and then the implementation by your team on the ground, if you can explain that chain of reasoning and drivers for the work that your team's about to do, then your team's going to be much more engaged in it. Most of them will have families. Everyone has a life outside of work, and everyone has the financial issues and constraints. They deal with financial services institutions. They may even be a customer of the company that you're working for. So the team will understand this is why we need to do it. And it doesn't mean that they're thinking about that every minute of the day while they're doing their work. You wouldn't want them to be, but it explains that there is a reason for the work they're doing and there's a reason to take pride in it. This leads to the second of the 3 principles that I'm going to talk about, just 3 out of the 12. So the second one is team. You need to be obviously aware of the team. The better you can know your individual team members, the better. Having one-on-ones is, I won't say essential, but it's almost essential. It's incredibly valuable. You save a lot of time by having one-on-ones because you get to know each team member individually and you understand where they're coming from. They're able to see a side of you that they might not see in the meetings, and you can ask them questions. They can ask you questions about certain aspects of the project that it may be that either one of you doesn't feel comfortable raising in a team environment, might not be even appropriate to raise in a team environment. You can also get a better understanding of where that individual is coming from, get to know them as a person. They may mention certain stresses or tensions that they've got at home or in their family situation. You'll get to know more about where they come from educationally and professionally. And this will just help you relate better to them in team meetings, and you can take all of their constraints and expectations and needs into account when you're allocating work, when you're reviewing work, when you're getting feedback. So knowing the team as individuals, team members as individuals, is incredibly valuable. And then the team as a whole. So spending time with the team as a whole, making time for the team on a regular basis is, of course, that's essential. I mean, that's how you lead. You may be running many projects, and so you're incredibly busy, but each project team is completely different, and they won't know or care, nor should they, about the different other projects that you're managing. So you need to be on the ground in each particular project, understanding the tensions and the problems. In a way, each project is its own world. I mean, projects all interrelate with each other, but they also all have their own constraints and issues and risks within the project. And the teams are living with that. So while you're across projects, the team of the project may be entirely focused on that project. That's the ideal scenario. Sometimes people do need to be shared between projects or between teams, but consider the team for that project, the world of that project, and you've got to spend your time amongst the team as a whole. And you may need to, of course, which leads to the next point, show leadership of that team through various problems that they're facing. So if you're not on the ground with the team, you won't know what the tensions are. So spending time on the ground with the team will show you where you need to demonstrate leadership. You won't need to lead in all areas. And sometimes you might need to or want to prompt individual members of the team to take leadership. By having those one-on-ones with the individual team members, you'll know who wants to step up and lead more. They may not think it's appropriate. They may not think that you want them to do that. And so that's where through the one-on-ones you can communicate the opportunities for individuals to show leadership. We of course expect everybody to lead in one way or another in the ways that align with their skills and what they see as important in the project. So by being on the ground in the team, you're able to understand where the team needs to be led. There may be areas where there's a problem that everyone's circulating, but no one feels they've got the authority to drive it forward, or people don't want to step on other people's toes out of professionalism and professional respect. It may also be that it's simply unclear and it seems like a higher level decision is needed in order to cut the Gordian knot of this particular problem that the team's facing. And so that may be where you do need to show leadership. You do need to make a call. It may be that everyone is waiting for someone to make a call and no one is making that call. They don't think it's their place to. And so that's where you can step in and you can say, well, let's pull this problem out, put it on the whiteboard or discuss it in black and white terms and ask everybody what they think. And then either you can make a call or you can ask the team, what do you think? Have the discussion and say, okay, it appears that we agree X, or it appears that we agree Y. Let's do that. And so that's where leadership plays a critical role in projects. Those are the 3 PMBOK principles that I wanted to cover in this video: stewardship, team, and leadership.